Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tom Jones Reaction channel, where today we're going to be looking at theme park ride accidents. It's a different type of video, and we'll see how well it does. So if you're excited for this video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss another video. If you have any other videos you want me to react to, leave them in the comments. And yeah, let's get into this video.
Nothing gets the old adrenaline pumping quite like a death-defying theme park.
Nope, it doesn't.
The promise of high-speed flips, loops, and drops attracts millions of people to test their courage on these rides every year.
Yeah, it does.
Despite the warning signs and super snug lap bars, not all of them are as safe as they appear.
Most of them probably aren't.
Russian ride that broke and had its passengers suspended by a thread.
That doesn't sound safe.
This crazy catapult that nearly crushed its...
It was in the shape of a rocket.
Riders. Want to find out more?
If that thing flipped right then, that would have been very bad.
Then strap in tight and secure any loose items about your person as we take a look at some theme park rides that had to be shut down.
Alright, here we go. So an F1 car. Savage son of a beast. I mean, already that looked very debatable.
Among the roller coaster enthusiasts,
that just looked like a bunch of
this
metal
colossal
pipes.
wooden...
That's wood. That's wooden. Well, no wonder it got shut down. It probably collapsed.
Ride called Son of Beast holds a legendary status. Part of Kings Island.
That just looks like a bunch of bones stacked on top of each other.
It was built as a sequel to their previous wooden
Tell me that doesn't look like a bunch of bones.
But like any good son, this new beast exceeded its predecessor in every way. It was the world's fastest and tallest wooden roller coaster, whipping riders around at a staggering 78 miles per hour from peaks as high as 218 feet.
No, I'm not going on that ride.
Cherry on top,
nope, not for me.
It was also the only wooden coaster with a loop when it opened back in the year
2000.
2000.
That doesn't seem
but
safe.
Being made out of wood didn't make for the smoothest journey.
That doesn't sound
Structural
right.
issues gave Son of Beast a reputation for being a jerky and rough ride.
I mean, just watching that footage, you could tell that no wonder people probably got concussions and all that crap.
Although that made some sadists love it all the more. But it got a little too rough back in 2006. As a train of riders looped around the Rose Bowl section, the train suddenly bucked as if it had hit a huge pothole. At those high speeds, the damage was serious, and 27 riders were sent to the hospital with severe neck and chest injuries. Inspectors later revealed a wooden support beam underneath that section had cracked and splintered, and the ride was shut down. It was repaired and reopened in 2009, but then another rider suffered an injury on board, though this time it was head trauma caused by the coaster's violent shaking.
I mean, the footage sums up that ride very much.
Even though a thorough investigation found no irregularities, its bumpy past and rough reputation was enough to see it shut down indefinitely that year. The wonderful wooden structure was later demolished in 2012, proving that what goes up must eventually come crashing down.
There we go. Oh, satisfying video. We actually do a satisfying video. That was satisfying. That was very satisfying. I was going to get annoyed if they cut away.
The Dangerous Dragon Challenge.
Well, the fact it's got dangerous in the title just sums that up, doesn't it?
Florida opened a dragon-themed ride in 1999. Roller coaster fanatics
if it's
were
called
left
dangerous, then
originally
people know what they get themselves into.
Dragons, the ride consisted of a pair of inverted, intertwined roller coasters.
Pair? What do you mean a pair?
Chased each other around like two dragons.
Well, that doesn't. Well, they crashed, didn't they?
Two trains even inverted riders and looped them round just 18 inches apart.
No wonder it went wrong.
I bet all those riders were left feeling like they'd really conquered a dragon. It was later renamed the Dragon Challenge and added to the park's Wizarding World of Harry Potter section. But shortly after the move, the Dragon Riders started misbehaving. In 2011, a 52-year-old man was on the ride when, during that iconic loop, something flung out from the other car and struck him across the face. The damage was so bad that his entire eye had to be removed.
Well, that's just peak.
Concerned that...
I mean, whose idea was it to put them right next to each other? Like, that got be arrested.
Riders weren't taking the many no loose object signs seriously. Operators began
lost an eye because someone forgot to take their phone out of their pocket. Get them out.
But this would turn out to be a killing blow for the dragons.
I mean,
without the dueling feature.
I was expecting much worse. I was expecting these two things to just crash into each other and everyone flies off and we never hear from them again. That's what I was expecting to happen.
The ride's popularity dwindled.
I mean, that's justified, probably. You lost an eye.
It was shut down to make way for something more magical and less dangerous. Now, if you're looking for a wild ride without the risk of losing an eye, then go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Yeah, like and subscribe this video.
Send you through a loop-de-loop. Grueling Green Lantern. The
Grueling Green Lantern.
Green
Alright,
Lantern
2011.
film was universally panned when it hit the silver screen. So you might not be surprised to learn that the Green Lantern First Flight roller coaster was just as disappointing. When it opened in Six Flags Magic Mountain back in 2011,
did it get shut down because it was boring? What a dead way to get shut down, because you're too boring.
Completely vertical pattern zigzagged roller coaster with 360-degree spinning seats.
Okay.
But this design made it look more like a giant pinball machine than a ride.
Doesn't look like a ride, it just looks like a sculpture.
Fans lined up to try it out.
It just looks like a sculpture, more like an art piece than an actual ride.
And boy, did most of them regret it.
I'm not surprised.
Jerked and jostled around the short 825-foot track.
That does not look fun at all.
Miles per hour.
That's a scaffolding.
It wrenched them around corners.
That's a building site.
Them awkwardly into sudden angles. So instead of flying superheroes, it shook them around like fish in a big green bag.
The audio on this just sums it up. What the hell were those sounds?
To the internet to complain about how painful the experience was.
Right, let's see. I never made a review for a roller coaster. Take off this ride. It's the most painful ride I've ever been on in my entire life. Blah de blah de blah. You okay? Still a headache and sore neck. Still. That's the day after. Well, I mean, you have to give it a few days. Relax now, Erin. All right. I was in pain, being jerked around the whole time. Okay, Alex, what type of jerking around are we talking? Negative 3 stars! Man, that's peak. What was that? I thought the rope was going to fly. Well, that's not how things work. That's not how the human body works. My gut slammed into the bar with the whole... Okay, yeah. That was fair enough. Bloody bloody blah. 2014, 2017... Why is there a 3-year difference? It really fell off at that time. Look at that. 3:13:03. Damn, they really fell off.
While others berated it for being short and boring.
So it did get hardly got shut down because it was boring.
Fortunately, Six Flags' fans didn't have to suffer for much longer. In 2017, the ride closed unexpectedly for unknown reasons. Some speculated it was because of bad reviews and injuries, while others believed it was down to its waning popularity. Whatever the reason,
it doesn't look like a ride that's going to be fun.
Years before the park announced it was shutting the ride down for good in 2019. That means this hugely hyped ride operated for an embarrassingly short 6 years.
That is so shit.
Just like the film, this roller coaster turned out to be one huge flop.
Doesn't surprise me. At least it fitted the theme.
Oh no, Oppa.
That doesn't look like a ride.
Does anyone else find the
half of these look like scaffolding. Half of these look like you're about to build a giant building.
Or this really creepy. Well, unfortunately, the unsettling design of the Oppa roller coaster.
That's what it looks like. That's what the ride looks like.
At Mount Olympus Park in Wisconsin wasn't the worst thing about
that. Looks shit.
The colorful indoor coaster was only 43 feet high.
Indoor.
With a top speed of just 29 miles per hour.
Well, that's not a roller coaster, is it?
Wild as much as they went mild.
Though if it's a kid's roller coaster,
it wasn't dangerous.
Fine.
Back in 2014, Anthony Thiessen was accompanying his grandkids on the ride when his safety bar suddenly failed. As the ride hit a corner, Anthony was flung out like a rag doll and fell 17 feet onto the hard concrete below. That's like falling out of a 1.5-story window. Anthony was placed into a medically induced coma for a month due to the severity of his injuries, but he miraculously survived.
Well, good. That's good. Well, no, but who's Joe? That person needs to be arrested. No, I was going to say fired. Fired is not enough. He needs to be behind bars for attempted murder. No, I've had the attempted murder in the last video, and I've got another one here. Like, why is it with people that attempted murder in these things?
Inspectors began testing the ride, using sandbags.
Which one of you dumbasses was it?
But they all watched in disbelief as the lap bar suddenly popped open at the point of the track where Anthony had been thrown. There was no doubt that Mount Olympus
get rid of that right now
to properly maintain the coaster, forcing them to permanently close the ride that same year. Well,
that's embarrassing.
I'm not sad to see the back of those creepy-looking mouse-mobiles.
That's a mouse.
Get in your mouse.
I thought that was a ladybird.
Get out of here.
The human catapult.
Well, that just sums it up already.
Slingshot and catapult rides have become increasingly popular.
Trusting one 4 little bits of string to hold for your life. For those 4 little bits of string, it's the difference between life and death. And you're trusting that. I ain't getting anywhere near that. And you're also trusting the scaffolding. I never thought I'd be saying scaffolding this much in a video.
Riders are securely strapped into a single steel capsule, which
what a shit way to go at this would be as well.
Strength spring cables pinned to the top.
I would not trust them at all.
Towers. The cables are then gradually tautened as the capsule remains strapped to the launch pad.
Can I have a refund? Can I change my mind? I don't want to go on this ride anymore. No, okay, never mind. I regret my decision. Where's the fail?
Like a stone from a slingshot, riders can be catapulted up to 450 feet in the air at
just going up and down.
Speeds of around 100 miles per hour. That's one way to get rid of your girlfriend, but as fun as they look to
if that's your aim, then sure.
The ground, the G-force these rides produce can reach up to 5 Gs, which is enough to make some riders hilariously faint.
That's not impressive. Exactly. Is this ride even worth it? You pay to go on the ride and you don't even see any of it, and you're out. Just like that. 5G is nothing. Get to the 50 Gs, then we're talking.
But that's not the worst thing that can happen on these rides. Back in 2015, Drew Larson was shooting a video of his 13-year-old son about to ride Wisconsin's Mount Olympus catapult with a family friend. The ride was designed to hurl passengers 200 feet up into the air at 60 miles per hour. But just moments before the ride attendants hit the launch button, something terrible happened.
Steven, drop a beat.
That could have been bad.
Without warning, the cable on one side of the ride snapped, smashing all that tension just inches away from the boy. Now, these rides...
I would punch the rider. Whoever owns the ride, I'll punch with the head.
Tons of pressure through those cables.
Let's get on a bit. Oh, guess what? Scaffolding!
To his right, they would have needed a spatula to get him off the ground. What an unbelievably lucky escape. While state documents showed that the ride had passed inspections a month before, Mount Olympus had previously failed to show the proper maintenance documentation for the catapult.
So they did a half-assed job and they almost killed a kid.
Back in 2015.
Close the whole thing down.
And when you take a look at the frayed cables on the side there, it looks like that paperwork might still have been missing. The ride was thankfully shut down and removed from the park just 2 days later, which probably saved future patrons from becoming pancakes.
Well, I think that's a good way to leave it. So, moral of the story, if you see a catapult, stay away from it, because it's not going to work. And moral also, maybe bring a spatula with you as well, because you may need to be digged off the ground. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all that. Check out these videos if you want to see any more on this channel, which are right here next to me on my right, your left, I guess, of the video. And then the subscribe is right here, so press it there. And I will see you on tomorrow's video, which will be another F1 video. Until then, bye guys.